Welcome to Deep Dive into Free Will, the podcast where we take a look at one of life's biggest questions. Do we actually have free will? Is every decision we make, from what to wear in the morning to what we want to do in the future, really ours? Or is it influenced by things we can control, like our upbringing, our brains, or even our DNA? To start, I'm gonna give you a few questions, icebreaker questions, so you can give us your opinion. The first question is: have you ever made a choice that you instantly regret? Do you think you were fully in control of that decision, or was it influenced by something else?
Um, I actually don't think that I have made a decision with instantly regret, but surely regret like 1 day, 2 days after that. So I think yes, I I did that decisions, but not instantly regret of that.
Well, I do have made decisions that I regret. Even though I made them instantly, I know that I was in control of making them. So, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna keep going with the second question. Think back to your morning today. Did you choose what to have for breakfast, or did it feel like your decision was automatic? And how do you know if it was automatic or if did you choose that breakfast?
Well, my decision was totally conscious. I woke up and I thought about what I felt like eating. I didn't just go and ate the first thing that I saw on the kitchen counter. So, yeah.
I think my decision to what eat in the morning is automatic. Just a sandwich the easiest way. Tastes good. It is easy to do. So yes, that for me is automatic.
All right. To keep going on and to dive a bit deeper into the topic, I'm gonna do core questions. What do you think free will actually means? Is it just ability to make choices, or is there more to it?
I think it depends. It depends on the person because I think some people think they have free will, but it's actually a fake one, just an excuse to make them feel free. Um, there are some choices that you need to premeditate before you take it, because sometimes you could be influenced by others' opinion, by your environment, but why will you affect yourself and on others? So for me, that's my answer.
I think free will is not just a thing of random choices. We do make an analysis of the situation when we're in to take a path or to do something. So I think there's more to it. I don't think it's just a superficial thing of our daily lives.
The second question is, core question is, do you believe that people are fully in control of their actions, or are our choices influenced by things like our upbringing, environment, or even our genetics?
I don't think genetic has to be here, but I think what do you see on your your environment surely affects you. Because when you take decisions, maybe you can copy actions or take opinions from the people, and because it is familiar to you. But I don't think the people is fully on control of their actions. I think there's always something behind all of that, and if it's not that, it's just their brain.
I think if we, I think we have control. like a one, maybe not a 100% of control, but we do have the free will thingy. It depends, of course, on the people, because there are certain persons that are in specific situations. Like Francisco said, they have a hard environment and can make a decision of their own. But for the rest of us, we do have the ability to choose what to do. So,
I believe most of our actions, decisions, and choices are a response to our upbringing. There's this psychological study that's, I forgot the name, but it's studying like how to control the industry and how to control what people want to do, technically, but like without people noticing it. So people can like buy stuff, do stuff, see stuff, thinking they decide to do it, but it's pretty much something that has been already planted into your mind since you were a little kid. And also a response to trauma, to the stuff that goes on in as a kid. And what you prefer is a response to what happened to you as a kid. From now on, I'm gonna ask philosophical perspective. All right. If scientists could prove that our brains make decisions before we're even aware of them, would that mean free will doesn't exist? I'm gonna
okay.
repeat the question. If scientists
Suave,
could
negro.
prove that our brains make decisions before we're even aware of them, would that mean free will doesn't exist? Take time to think, and so you can answer.
I think is actually um how you look at yourself. I think that's the first question you need to respond, not for others, just for yourself. Because if you said that you are your brain and you are the way that you think, maybe it's not free will. If you think there's another thing that you could not define as something that you can touch, like the soul, maybe that the free will exists. So I think that the question is not possible to to give like a correct answer, because we don't know about that yet.
Okay. I think, I personally think that even if our brains make a decision before we're even conscious, we still have this free want and free will. Like, we have the consciousness to take a path, because we don't just do things instantly or automatically, because there are like moments that our brain tell us to do things but we just don't do them. An example of this would be in a situation that you're scared or you're unsure of what to do. Your brain will tell you to, I don't know, run or grab this thing, but you just don't do it because you don't think it's the right thing to do at the time. So I think it depends a lot, but we do both. Uh-huh.
Just to add up something, I think that another way to see it is that actually free will exists, because sometimes you need to do certain stuff so you can you can teach your brain. So a definition of who you are is more than your brain.
With the thing that you just said, are you referring to morality? Because you said that you're teaching your brain to think a certain way. Are you talking
Not
about?
just morality. but it is a good question because you can see that way. But when I was talking, I was thinking about people with anxiety. I was thinking about that because you know that if you are like if you behave like an anxious person, your brain is always going to think like that, always going to put you in risk. It is that power so true that you could make yourself damage, um, really good damage with a certain path of thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next question is: do you think believing in free will makes a difference in how we live our lives? If so, how might it change the way we see ourselves and others? Take some time to think and then we answer.
I think it does make a difference because free will is the foundation of a lot of concepts such as morality, justice, and self perspective. If you don't believe in free will and you think that everything we do is just randomly made up in, for example, our brain, then things like blame or apologies or prayers, things like that, would be like invalid because you're just saying that we don't have that capacity of consciousness. Yeah.
I think it depends. I think it depends because if you apply to certain belief, it can make you weak at some point. But that doesn't need to be here. I think it's your decision because if you think, well, whatever you said have been spoken before, none of your opinions is actually yours. It's not like 100% yours. Could pick it up from other people. You could see it. You could you could think about it as other people do. And I think that's why it's your choice to believe or not. Maybe if you believe, you could see people other way, but me is useless at all.
I do believe that believing or not in free will does influence in how you live your life. As we talked before, most of the stuff we do are probably like influenced on stuff that has been implanted in our brains and our minds and our consciousness. So believing in free will and like being aware that most of your decisions are controlled, of course it makes a big difference in how you live. Because you might, if you're aware of this, you might analyze a lot more the stuff you do, the actions you take, the decisions you take, the way you see the world, the way you see your life, and the way you see others people's life. So of course it makes a difference if you trust or
I
not.
might actually was going to talk about that, like a little add up. I was going to say the literally same you have spoken about, because if you maybe don't believe in that, you will maybe start looking up for a real free will, and you maybe start finding it.
All right. The last point we're gonna take is the real world applications of what we have been talking about. The first question is: how do you think the idea of free will affects things like our legal system or how we judge people's actions? I repeat the question. How do you think the idea of free will affects things like our legal system or how we judge people's actions? Take some time and then we answer.
So certain type of people empower themselves with the illusion of free will, because I think nobody has the right to choose about other one's life, should die or not. And that's actually a big punishment that we can see in our legal system.
Um, I do think free will affects the way we judge and see people and the legal system, because when we're talking about free will, we are not only referring to the actions but the thought of it. It basically puts on the table, like, you can weigh your decisions, like you can think about it, you can say this is wrong, this is a better option, this is a better way to do things. So it obviously affects it. It also has to do a lot with morality, because if I have a strong sense of moral and you have like another way to think about it, well, maybe I will judge you in base of my thinking. So it depends a lot of the moral thingy, but yeah, free will has a heavy weight on a lot of social things.
Well, that's it for today. That's it for the deep view of free will. I would like
Yeah,
to say for our viewers that this is pretty much an invite to be aware of what you're doing and to think and analyze everything. Go to church. Church is good,
it is
but
good,
always question
but
everything.
question everything.
Question everything. Everything. Question everything.
Question everything.
Shout out
Yeah.
to Dinora. Shout out to Ranson who didn't came. And thank you
Be
and
good.
goodbye.